दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे ॐ नमो भगवते दक्षिणामूर्तये मह्यं श्रियं मे प्रज्ञां प्रयच्छ स्वाहा।
ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। Now, we are still in the section, the verse 1 to 12. Parikshya lokan karmachitan nirvedam ayat nasti akritah kritena tad vijnanartham sagurumeva abhigachet samitpanihi shrotriyam brahmanishtham. This is where we are at. And this is a, as I said, this is a very important mantra in the Upanishad, because depending upon how well one internalizes this, the rest of the Upanishad becomes very, very clear and does the job of giving clarity, and making one understand what this pursuit is all about, giving more clarity about who the I is. So the I, which is free of sorrow, just to recap what we studied last week, the I which is free of sorrow, pain, fear, anxiety, all these things, that is not something to be manufactured. This much we have learned, point 1. Point 2, why should it not be manufactured? Because it already exists. It is there and it is accessible all the time. Whenever one is not upset, whenever one is able to just touch that calm, free of pain, etc., that I which is there. Whenever one is able to touch that, in between two desires, even unfulfilled desires, when one is able to touch that, one does not even know that this anxious self exists. This is how it is. And so, therefore, what needs to be understood here, very, very, very carefully, what needs to be understood is this juncture where I stop trying to manufacture a self that is already there. First of all, it's already there, so it doesn't need any manufacturing. Second of all, even if you try to manufacture it, it is a useless thing. It's like reinventing the wheel which is already there. What's the point? It's a waste of time, waste of energy, is it not? And so these two things I have to understand. So this is the very important to get a handle on this. Then we have to see that confronted with the fact that I am already what I seek to be, then that should have a bearing on my pursuit, should it not? So if I'm continuing to use the example given in the last session that we had, if I'm continuing to take a plane to New York and wondering why I'm not in San Francisco, then I need to get off that plane. It should it should reflect on the level of action, on the level of pursuit. In this case, the pursuit is actually a different kind of a pursuit. Pursuit is not the kind of pursuit that we think, it's catch, kill, chase, catch, kill. This is coming from previous lives as dogs and cats. This is what they do. They chase, they catch, they kill, and they eat, and then they sleep. And the whole cycle begins again. Chase, catch, kill, eat, sleep. Chase, catch, kill, eat, sleep. This is one whole life. And then we have that same mentality, except it has a veneer of civilization. That's all it does. We have the same mentality. Think about it. Chase, chase what? Various opportunities, etc. And then out of 5 opportunities that one is chasing, like so many mice on the roads, and then what? You catch one, so you have one opportunity, you catch it and you hold on to it, kill it, and then we use the word I killed it, even otherwise. To when one has conquered something, you say I have killed it. So kill it, eat it, meaning you become a bhokta, you become a consumer of this pursuit, whatever the goodies associated with this pursuit you have, you enjoy, and then what? And then you go to sleep. Either temporarily in between or permanently in between two lives. And then the whole thing starts all over again. And then for what? Why am I doing this? If you really reflect, and then the answer lies elsewhere. In order to be happy, in order to be contented, in order to be whole, in order to be free, in order to be so many things. This is what the answer comes. Now the Upanishad is making a radical, is making a radical statement that what the deserts of your pursuit, the whatever you have pursued, and the results of those pursuits, the deserts of your pursuits are necessarily finite. And there is a problem here, because if you were happy with the finite, then we would not be having this conversation week after week. But you are not happy with the finite. And therefore, we know that what we want is the infinite, but yet we doggedly pursue the finite. This is what has got to stop. Once I know that this is a dead end affair, leaving me deadened year after year, life after life, then something's got to change. To engage in the same action and expect a different outcome is the definition of madness, the certifiable insanity. Somebody said that, and they are right. They're absolutely correct. To do the same thing and expect a different outcome is not going to be is not going to be is not going to be very productive. And so therefore what? Therefore I have to change something. So what to change? I have to get off the wrong bus, the wrong plane. I have to get off that. And so that should reflect on the actions. So the catch, kill, eat, catch, kill, conquer, eat, sleep mentality has to undergo a change. So, but what will I do if I don't catch the opportunities? If I don't kill them? If I don't, enjoy them? What will I do? Well, you can continue to do that, but that action subserves something else. That action, those series of actions which you know to be life, we are not asking you to drop everything, except, especially when one is not ready. That will be there. But that is something I do for my livelihood. That is something I do because that is where my skill is, as an expression of my skill, as a way of integrating with the society, as a way of contributing. But I can't do that and expect to have the infinite in the palm of my hand. Even though romantic poets talk about that. I think it was Blake, to hold infinity in the palm of my hand. I mean, it's nice as a poet, as a poetry. It's very nice, beautiful. And then but in when we talk about this reality as oneself, the infinite is not an object to have and to hold. It is not. It simply is not. It is the nature of you that is needing to be uncovered, which is latent underneath, so to speak, the catch kill mentality which is there underneath. Underneath that means when that surface level, all these frantic uh, pursuits, when we are able to analyze that and look at that, and then next thing, not just look at that, but drop that. Dropping that requires a lot of courage and also a cognitive shift. And the cognitive shift comes when we understand that this is something to be known. The I is not something, there is no doing in the I, it is a known. I suffer because I am not in touch with who I am, with who I really want to be, with who I really am. And therefore, I need instruction. Then, of course, it is not easy to be available for this instruction, because who is coming to tell me about myself? How do they know what I need and what my wants are and who I am? How do they know that if those questions come? That is why we have this way of understanding what are called in the Shastra means of knowledge. Means of knowledge. That is why this knowledge has to come from outside the infrastructure that is wedded to a life of doing, 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 doing. All the means of knowledge, if we look at them, perception is all about doing. I am the seer, I am the hearer, I am the one who picks up smells, I am the taster, I am the one who touches. You see, doing, 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 doing. The perception itself leads to action. In fact, the perception is not action, but then it's very difficult to delineate the perception from the action, because the perception seamlessly has led to the action. And that's why it led, what's his name? I think Julius Caesar to say, I came, I saw, I conquered. It's all a series of actions. So this is what it is. Same catch kill mentality. And so therefore the perception here is finite. Why? Because that's all it can do. It can only objectify things that are outside of you, that are in the form of objects outside of you. It can objectify them. It is helpful. It is helpful to lead one's life. Whether we talk of direct perception with the five sense organs, or indirect ways of knowing, like inference. And in the Shastra, in the teaching, we have different kinds of inferences. One is just a regular inference. You look outside, it has rained, and you don't see the rain, but you see all the roads are wet. So you conclude that there has been rain in the night when you were enjoying good sleep. You did not even know. This is called one-step inference. Anumana. Then we have arthapatti. Arthapatti means it's a multi-step inference. The parents of teenagers know this very well because they deploy this in their parenting practices. Where were you? You have come back much later than your appointed curfew. Where were you? Oh, I was studying at so and so's house. Well, that is not true, because I called so and so's mom and you were not there. Oh, no, no, no. After that, after studying with so and so and I went to another person, and then we went over there. That's why the mother perhaps did not know. Well, I called that place also, and guess what? You were not there. Anyatha upapatta means, anyatha upapatti means no other explanation is possible other than the fact that you just, blew off the study time and you did something. You said you were going to study, but you did something else. You went somewhere else without letting us know. This is what the parents would say. And the parents are experts at this, at deploying the second kind of whatever the inference, multi step inference. I have looked here, I have looked there, I have done this, I have done that, I have called your friend, I have called your friend's parents, and then you were not in any of the places. So, therefore, I know you went to a movie, and therefore, I know you did what you were not supposed to do at this time. This is multi-step inference. This is also very helpful. As I said, no parenting is complete without this means of knowledge. It's very, very useful. And then we have a comparison where a known entity is compared to an unknown entity. And so that the unknown entity is recognized because of how I deal with because I know this particular entity, then because of the known entity, the unknown entity is recognized. A bison is just like a buffalo, but with a different kind of horns and all these things. So if you know buffalo, you don't know even the spelling of bison, but you still can recognize the bison when you understand, when you see the bison, you can recognize the bison. This is exactly how this particular comparison, upama, as a means of knowledge uh, functions. Then we have the cognition of absence. Is there a pot in the palm of my hand? The answer, of course, is no, there is no pot in the palm of your hand. Then how do you know? You can't see it. It's not about seeing. You can't see absence. You can only see presence. You can cognize absence because you see the pot, and then you don't find it where it is supposed to be. And in order to know the I, these means of knowledge which I operate, which the person operates, is of no use. No use at all. Why? Because the I is not an object, and the means of knowledge that are available to me are just good for delineating or understanding objects, not by any means the subject which is I. Cannot. Why? Because I'll use my eyes to see the Atma. Well, the seer, the content of the seer, the truth of the seer is the Atma, the one who sees his Atma. I will hear the sounds of the Atma. Atma, first of all, doesn't make sounds. And even if it did, it's the hearer that is Atma. Same thing. The eye is not an object of hearing, is not an object of touch, is not an object of the direct perception, it's not an object of inference either. What to talk of absence, cognition of absence? It is not because it is ever present. So you cannot use the cognition of absence to discover that which is always present. And then finally, it's not an object of comparison because there's only one of its kind. There is no kind. In fact, that's all there is. The only thing that is there is the I. And so what are you going to do? And so therefore, there is this. This is what is called the part in the mantra, Nasti Akrita Kritena. The infinite cannot be, is not a product of finite actions. This is the understanding. Therefore, Gurumeva Abhigache. Therefore, we need help here. We need help because we are unable to do this on our own. As I have said many, many times, there is no DIY Vedanta, cannot be. DIY Vedanta, do it yourself Vedanta, does not exist. If you find a book called DIY Vedanta, do not buy it. All right, it will be a waste of time and waste of money. And so it is not something to do on your own. And in every situation, one needs help. In every situation, one needs help. You need help to figure out, I mean, when you think about when you first opened a bank account, you didn't know how to go there, you didn't know what to do. Somebody helped. Somebody helped to fill out the form. Somebody told you this is what you do. Somebody told you this is how it operates. Somebody told you this is a magic plastic card. You just put it in the machine and then money comes out. Somebody taught you all those things. So you had help. You have helped to cook, you have helped you have helped to tie your shoes, you have helped with every single thing. So why not the most important thing, which is to know oneself? Because we have to see how the means of knowledge operates. The means of knowledge is a king in its own area. What the eyes can do, namely see form and color, no other means of knowledge can do. So if I want to see an object, I have to use the eyes. I cannot, if I want to see an apple, okay, I have to use my eyes. I cannot put the apple next to my ears and say, my eyes are very tired today. Ears, come on, tell me which color is this apple. Is it Granny Smith? Is it green? Is it Gala? Is it red delicious? Is it sometimes there are these yellow apples, I don't know their name, but is it that yellow apple, golden something? And what color is it? I can't ask the ears, because the ears is in its own right. It's the king in the area of sound. And what the nose does, the eyes cannot do. What the eyes do, the ears cannot do. So each pramana, each means of knowledge is a king in its own territory. It can neither contradict, it cannot contradict what the other means of knowledge has done that. If supposing the eyes say this is a red colored apple, the ear has no business coming in and saying, no, I think it's green. The whole idea is ridiculous. So each means of knowledge has its own territory. And so, Saha Gurumeva Abhigachet. When we say here in the mantra, may the person seek a teacher and listen to this knowledge, we are looking at this knowledge as a means of knowledge in its own right. We are looking at the Shastra as a pramana. Shastra is a means of knowledge. The teaching itself is a new pair of eyes that one did not have to understand the truth of the self. And just like I back up the eyes, I will argue with anybody. No. I saw it with my own eyes. I am correct. And of course, this is barring, this is, usually applies to things that one sees outside in the world. Like you see, unfortunately, sometimes you see two cars crashing against one another. Thankfully, nobody is hurt. But then when the police come, you know to say, I am an eyewitness here. I saw it is not the fault of the blue car, it is the fault of the green car. You can say that. It's the fault of the driver of the green car because he or she did not look this way, that way, and they were the one who violated the law and hit the other car. This is, the eyes do not lie, because I am there. The eye is there behind the eyes to back up what the eyes have seen. The eye is there behind the ears to back up the cognition of sound. Similarly, the eye has to be there to accept and back up what the Shastra says. And that is always difficult, because whereas the other means of knowledge are coming from within oneself. One is the king of all the means of knowledge. One is one is there, one is operating all the means of knowledge. Here, this means of knowledge is being operated for you. It's like being in a roller coaster. You have to just sit tight, enjoy the ride if you can. Okay. Yeah. So you have to just sit tight. You cannot do anything. There is no input there. The input, any input you can give about who you think you are. That I am a miserable jiva, if you try giving that input, it will be exactly like the ear saying, I think the apple is green. It is not valid at all, because you don't have a way to understand who you want to be, who you already are. There is no way to do this. There is no way to guess it. There is no way to intuit it, because we are looking at the nature of the intuitor, the nature of the guesser. And so therefore here the help is needed. And once I ask for the help, I cannot interfere. I cannot interfere at all. It's just like surgery. They put you out literally. The anesthesiologist comes and says, sign on this dotted line. And then you were not planning on, you had Googled the surgeon. You had Googled the surgeon, found out that he or she has like a 99% success rate, and you are very happy. And then you said, oh, okay, I have the best surgeon to take out this tumor or what have you. And then, but you hadn't planned on meeting this anesthesiologist. Surgeon is nowhere to be seen. The anesthesiologist comes and says, okay, you are ready for surgery. We are going to put you under. And that's a scary time. Sign on this dotted line. What? Why should I sign on this dotted line? Well, anesthesia is very safe, but once in a while, people don't come back. That's all. And so therefore, you have to have what is called in the Shastra as total Shraddha. Total Shraddha. Shraddha means Shraddha means receptivity. What choice do you have? Shraddha means acceptance. Shraddha means trust. What choice do you have other than to trust this anesthesiologist? This is not the time to say, you you are just 4'11" in height. Sorry, but I don't think, can I see your supervisor? Can I see where you graduated from? This is not the time to do that. The surgery has already been scheduled, and it was not easy to get in. And meanwhile, the tumor is growing and you want it out. And so, therefore, you have to have Shraddha. It is an enforced Shraddha. You say, all right, fine. And then all you have to do is count backwards 10, 9, 8, 7. By the time you don't even remember saying 7. And then when you wake up, it's all done. Thank God. The surgery is done. And of course, you're not, the anesthesia is so that you are not in pain. But I also think it benefits the surgeon. The surgeon doesn't want you to, wake up in the middle of the operation and say, are you using the correct scalpel? I think you're cutting too low. I think the tumor is a little bit higher. They don't want this interference. They know what they're doing. You don't. So you better be out. That's what it is. Until the surgery is done, they do not want to hear from you. This is a similar operation. The operation here is of the tumor in the burgeoning tumor of samsara in the form of I don't love myself, I hate myself, nobody loves me, I have a problem with you. In fact, I have a problem with everybody else, and everybody has a problem with me. I wish I was different. I wish I was better looking. I wish I was of a better weight range. I wish I was smarter. I wish I was richer. I wish I was more accomplished. This is the growing tumor. The growing tumor of misapprehension about the I. It is keeping on growing. And at some point, it is coming in the way of my functionality. It is coming in the way of my self-definition. I understand it is not healthy at all, and therefore I want it out. Therefore, I take the help of a surgeon. In fact, the guru is called surgeon. Bhagavan, the Ishvara is also called surgeon. Prathamo Daivyo Bhishak. Bhishak means surgeon. Vaidya. Vaidya means the doctor. It's a surgeon. And then the guru is described as the surgeon who takes away the tumor, the growing tumor of non-acceptance of the self, self-loath, self-critique, this unending, burgeoning self-critique. This tumor is been growing from lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. It's a congenital tumor, so to speak, karmic tumor. And this needs to go because it is interfering in one's daily life. This is what it is. So the same way I receive the surgeon, I allow myself to be put under. I allow this thing. And yes, there may be some risks, but that's not what I'm focusing on. I allow this. And then I know that once this tumor is gone, I can be healthy. I can have a full span of life. I know that. That same acceptance, that same trust is warranted in the teacher that is being, invoked. The teacher that one says, the Shastra says, you have to approach. No, but why can't I do this? Well, you can't. You yourself are in the way. You are in the way of what you want. You are in the way of what you need. And so, therefore, the Shastra first anesthetizes the patient. We can't even call the person patient, the jiva is impatient. So, the jiva is impatient, not a patient. So, the impatient jiva who wants this tumor of Atma Ajnanam, self ignorance, and its broods, all kinds of nonsensical desires, all kinds of things to complete oneself, all kinds of things I need as props in order to lead one's life, all kinds of things I have to buy in order to be okay. All that has to go. And so the excising of this tumor is nothing but sitting and listening in rapt attention. That's really what is this excising of the tumor. And this is what we are doing week after week. But then why is the surgery not over? The tumor is very big, okay? So it needs time. Yeah, it needs time. And not only that, the tumor is not, even if the tumor is not too big, the person is coming to, in the middle of the surgery and saying, no, 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 not this week. No, 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 not like this. There is a lot of resistance. And so that means the anesthesiologist has to be called back. And, again, it has to be done like this. So, what to do now? So, therefore, Gurumeva Abhigachet. The Guru becomes the means of knowledge. Because the Guru is just a microphone of the Shastra, amplifies the teaching which I cannot access on my own because I am in my own way. Even reading the Upanishads doesn't do anything. Therefore, I have to listen. Yeah, but what is the anesthesia in the class? That's the jokes, the little stories, the jokes. And then the person relaxes. Oh, okay. Yeah, oh, okay. The guard is down a little bit. More one listens, the guard is down. And then one says, perhaps it is time to give this the benefit of doubt. It's time to give the Shastra and the teacher the benefit of doubt. That's all we ask for, a benefit of doubt. Perhaps I can open the mind to even allow its message to just come through, at least for today. And then, sir, vijnanartham, tad vijnanartham, to understand that. What is that? That what I want to be is what I really already am. Sagurumeva abhigachet. May one go to the teacher. Samit Panihi. Samit Panihi means may one be a person who has a bundle of twigs in hand. So the one who has a bundle of twigs in hand is called Samit Panihi. Why do you need twigs? Well, to beat up the teacher if the teacher is not doing the job properly. No. The twigs are in case the twigs apply only if the teacher is a married person, a family person. Then what happens is that the teacher needs to do yajna every day. The teacher needs to offer homa. What is homa? Fire ritual every single day. And then therefore what? Therefore this thing is there, and that the teacher needs to offer the fire ritual, etc. And then therefore the twigs come in handy. The twigs are of useful. So the holding the twigs symbolizes the ability to be of service. That means there is humility. And why should I be of service to the teacher? Because the teacher is not charging, what is that? Pay per view. Okay. Yeah, the teacher is not charging for these classes, for this removal of the ignorance. But why is the teacher not charging? The teacher is not charging because the teacher loves to teach and the teacher is doing out of a sense of compassion. That's what it is. The teacher is paying it forward because somebody taught the teacher. The teacher's teacher taught the teacher. The teacher's teacher's teacher taught the teacher's teacher. The teacher's 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 teacher taught the teacher's teacher's teacher. And this is what it is. One is just paying it forward. And besides, here's the secret. The more the teacher teaches, the more the teacher revels in that knowledge. And so it's a win-win situation. And besides, even if the teacher were to charge, what is the price of the self? What is the price of that which is infinite? It is priceless. The infinite you cannot put a price on that. So no matter what you charge, it will not do justice. So really speaking, there is no charge. And then so when one is in the place of a benign, sun-like disposition of the Guru, which is shining and thawing out this frozen self, frozen with all kinds of notions, then one is happy. One is happy to give back. One is happy to be of service. And that is what the service is about. The service is not just, okay, this is what it is and this is what I'm going to do. No. Service is just for one's own sake. So that one feels that one is in the loop. So that one feels that one has given back. So that is the service. But that's also not really a complete explanation. The service, really speaking, is for opportunities, provides opportunities for the student to hang around the teacher. Because otherwise, if you just sit and gawk at the teacher will say, don't you have something to do? Go lead your life. You can't sit and gawk at the teacher all the time. Neither can you follow the teacher like a little, what is that? Mary had a little lamb from, place to place. You can't be that little lamb that keeps following the teacher. It looks ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. So therefore, really the best way of having the oneness with the teacher is to know what the teacher knows. That is the best way. Short of that, when I'm in the process of knowing that, when I'm in the process of doing that, I want more exposure to the knowledge. And so one naturally wants to be with the teacher more. And one way of being with the teacher is of being of service, doing something for the ashram, something for the teacher, whatever the teacher needs, you just do that. And when you do that, then that means you are able to be with the teacher more. That's the whole idea. So why should I be with the teacher more? Because I have some kind of an obsession with the teacher? No. Being with the teacher more means if you are around the teacher more, you have more access to the knowledge, because the teacher is not talking any other, chit chat. Either the teacher is talking about his teacher, her teacher, and the glory of the teacher or the glory of the knowledge. That's what you get by being around the teacher. And so you make more opportunities to be around the teacher by being of service. Very, very interesting this is, because otherwise what do? You just hang around and you're just a hanger on. And it's very annoying for the teacher. It's annoying, poor teacher. And it's annoying for the teacher. It's annoying for you also. And then what do? So therefore, the service here, the service mentality is so that I can watch how the teacher, not only how the teacher talks, but how the teacher behaves. There is a lot to be learned from that. Because really, we are not talking of just the talk, we are talking of walk as well. I mean, my education, just to speak for myself, has been as much through the study of the Upanishads, Sanskrit, etc., as much as just being with Pujya Swamiji, traveling with him, and just going, seeing how he behaves, seeing how he behaved in each and every situation with each and every person. That itself was an education. And so that itself, so here again, this is why the word service is called Shushrusha. In Hindi especially, we say seva Shushrusha means being of service. But actually, when you look at it grammatically, the word Shushrusha has nothing to do with service. Grammatically, it's a desiderative noun which means the desire to hear, Shushrusha, which is now conflated with seva. Really, very, very fascinating. Tad vijnanartham sagurumeva abhigachet. How? Samit panihi. Samit panihi means with the one with sticks in hand, or showing the readiness to serve. The readiness to serve, the humility becomes one of the qualifying criteria, one of the criteria for this self-knowledge. Because the teacher can see that such and such a person is not full of themselves. They're not full of themselves. There is not that kind of a, that story of that Zen master comes to mind, where the Zen, this professor wanted to interview the Zen master. And the Zen master instead asked, "Will you have tea?" "Yes, yes, thank you," said the professor. And the Zen master went on pouring, pouring, pouring until it overflowed. And then the professor said, "Master, don't you see it's overflowing?" "Yes, I see that." The Zen master said, "But do you see that this is how you are? There is no place for me to tell you anything because you are full of yourself." So the readiness for seva shows the teacher that one is ready to learn. That one, there is a willingness. There is a willingness to step out of my own pains, sorrows, and serve and be willing to serve the teacher. Whether the teacher wants it or not is a different thing. But then this is how, then it says, find the guru who is Shrotriya and Brahmanishtha. In fact, we covered these two words at the beginning in great detail. But if you are just attending now, or if you have forgotten, let us go over them just briefly. Shrotriya means somebody from a sound lineage that does not distort the words of the Upanishad. The one who is committed to oneness, the one who is teaching exactly like he or she was taught. That is Shrotriya. That is Shrotriya. And Brahmanishtha means the one who has no other irons in the fire, the one who is totally committed to Brahman. The second one is very difficult to discern. How do you know what the teacher is thinking of? Whether the teacher is thinking of the proverbial chocolate cake or Brahman, there is no way to find out. And so therefore what? So therefore, go with Shrotriya. Ideally, Shrotriya and Brahmanishtha together, but go with Shrotriya. Because you will never be misled. And so that is what is there. Therefore, the centrality of the teacher in dismissing self-ignorance here is reiterated by the Upanishad herself, because that's what it takes. That's exactly what it takes. It's like the Guru Stotram says, it is like cataract surgery. So the Guru, I thank the Guru, I do namaskara to the Guru, I do namaste to the Guru, who removed the cataracts of self-ignorance, which was leading me to have a double vision of duality. And once the cataracts are gone, I see my own glory. The world is a better place. It's much more colorful. It's much more powerful. It's much more benign. It's not out to get me. I was being chased by shadows, and I was fighting with shadows like the proverbial soldier. What was his name? Don Quixote in medieval Spain. This is what I was doing. I was fighting with shadows. And now that the cataracts are gone, I do not see any longer the shadows that have dogged me the whole of my life. And this is what the thing. This is what the understanding is, that the teacher removes the self knowledge by telling by repatriating you with the truth of yourself. So then that qualifies us to go to the next verse, the last verse in this particular section. Okay, so let me share the text and then we can look at it together. You can see this? Yeah, okay. Tasmai sa vidvanupasannaya samyak prashanta chittaya shamanvitaya येनाक्षरं पुरुषं वेद सत्यं प्रोवाच तां तत्त्वतो ब्रह्मविद्याम्. So here, supposing somebody thinks that, what if the teacher refuses me? Then what if the teacher doesn't teach? Or maybe I should wait for the teacher to come. It's not wait for the teacher to come. You have to approach. This has been taught. It's not a what is that? It's not a high school prom. You wait to be chosen. That's not the idea here. So then, what if the teacher doesn't teach? Well, the teacher will teach so long as these qualifications are met. The teacher will definitely teach. Tasmai, unto that person, unto the one, to the one. Saha vidvan upasannaya tasmai saha vidvan, that teacher. Saha vidvan, that all-knowing teacher. Tasmai goes with, see the word tasmai goes with upasannaya. Both of them are in fourth case. So unto that one, upasannaya means the one who has approached. How? Samyak. This is an indeclinable. So samyak means properly. Properly. Properly means in keeping with the rules of how to approach the teacher. Formally asking for the knowledge, approaching the teacher, and then with respect, with the spirit of service, all these things are there. You don't try to make the teacher into a coffee buddy. Okay? Yeah, even though the inclination is there, you don't do that. So, tasmai savidvan, tasmai upasannaya samyak, for the one who has approached teacher properly with an attitude of trust and with an attitude of service and with a desire to know. Saha vidvan, okay, let's say we'll keep this for later. Saha vidvan. So tasmai upasannaya samyak. So the one who has approached properly with a certain mental and emotional maturity, which translated into a kind of a demeanor. Prashanta chittaya. Chitta here means emotions. So the one whose emotions are well regulated, not just in the moment of approach. Generally speaking, one is to get together. One is not a person who falls apart all the time. The one, because this is very important, what should I say, prerequisite for the knowledge. You don't have, if you have unmanageable anger, if you have, drama in your life all the time, if you have emotional regulation, dysregulation, where the emotions take over you, you don't have a say over them at all, then it doesn't disqualify you for the knowledge, but it certainly means that there is some homework that needs to be done before wasting the teacher's time and before approaching the teacher. That's what it is. Or as you approach the teacher, also you can do this work, because sometimes you don't even know that the emotions are dysregulated. One doesn't know. So even as one approaches the teacher, one can take care of the emotions and put oneself on a path of emotional maturity, spiritual growth. That's what it is. What is emotional maturity? To not let the emotions run the show all the time. And that's a very painful way of living the life. Oh, I feel all these things. Those are feelings. And what happened to the watcher of the feelings? Where is the watcher? Oh, there is no watcher. There is a watcher. You have to connect with the observer. Observe the feelings, and then they become, much smaller than before. They don't take over. Observe the feeling. No, but even if I observe the feelings, I'm still feel overwhelmed. Then there is therapy. Oh, therapy doesn't work. And there are so many things on YouTube you can watch. Self-help things are there. Watch them. And then become a person who is emotionally regulated. The teacher is not you cannot, the teacher is not one to be converted into a therapist. That is not the point of the teacher. The teacher is here to teach, and I have to have a demeanor where I don't take everything personally, where I don't misunderstand the teaching or the teacher, because these are all very important. Where I don't feel the teacher is out to get me, where I suffer from so much distrust that I'm not able to do this at all. And so therefore, the emotional regulation, prashanta, not just shanta. Shanta means that which has come to shanti means peace. Prashanta means powerful, place of where all the emotions have culminated into that personality who is able to have a hold over them. Emotions are there. We are not trying to be in denial. Yes, there is anger. Yes, there is pain. Yes, there is sorrow. Yes, even sitting somewhere, one can be angry. No problem. But where are you? You are not anger personified. You are not sorrow personified. You are not fear personified. You are the one who has the emotions, means you can allow those emotions to not have a say over you. You reign. You means more objectivity, more presence, more mindfulness, and more the ability to be in the present. Not by denying the emotions, but by dealing with them, by healing them, whatever one needs to do. And to even have the emotional maturity to say, right now, I'm really angry. I'm going to remove myself from this situation, and then we can discuss this later. Even interpersonally, this is a very good way to lead one's life. Right now, I'm really sad and I cannot have this conversation. That's actually a gift you give to the loved ones. Right now, I need to remove myself from this situation because I'm not seeing things clearly. I need time. I don't know how much time, but I need some time. This is the way to set oneself on the path of emotional maturity by recognizing that I have all these recalcitrant emotions, these recurring emotions, and I welcome them, I talk to them, I am able to see where the roots of it is, I'm able to work with them. But right now it's not possible. So I refuse to have this to be baited into this kind of a conversation because I'm not there right now. That is taking responsibility. That is not spilling all your emotions, sliming other people with your emotions. That's not a very good way of leading the life. And it certainly does not help one in a teaching situation. If one is serious about this knowledge and if one wants the knowledge to transform one, one takes care of one's emotional baggage through yoga, through therapy. So many ways are there, and cultivates self-love, all these things. And this is what is called prashanta chitta, and then shamanvita, Shamena Anvita. Anvita means endowed with Shama. Shama means a resolved mind. Resolved mind, resolved senses. Where the sense organs are not creating urgent wants right now and going after all kinds of things. Yes, I want this knowledge, but I want a million other things, and therefore I'm going to go after them. No. Shamanvita is the one who is able to have single-minded focus. And the focus is so clear that this is where I am and this is exactly what I have to do. This is exactly what I have to understand. That one is not swerved this way, that way, no way, because there is a focus, there is a single-mindedness. And the senses, even in the middle of the class, there could be some noise somewhere. One does not go to investigate. One says, okay, it is some noise somewhere. Let me find out later what that is. Right now, I'm listening to this. This is what is called Shaman Vitaya. So all of these qualify tasmai unto that person who has approached the teacher well, who is on a path of emotional maturity, who is committed to emotional maturity, and who has single-minded focus in the form of a resolved mind that is not always, here and there, distracted by things and by sense objects. So then, for such a person, Saha Vidwan, that person, Provachatam Tatvataha Brahma Vidya. This we'll see later. Okay. So, Provacha means will teach. That person teach, let that person teach. This is a guidance to the teachers and the students simultaneously. Let that person teach. Provacha, let that person teach the one who is prepared, the one who has approached the teacher properly, the one who has a say over their emotions, the one who has a say over their reactivity. All the time, one is not reactive and needing to be taken care of. And so, for such a person, Provachatam, may the person teach. What? Tattvataha, completely. Completely teach Brahma Vidya. Tattvataha means fully, along with the examples, along with all the pedagogy, etc. Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of Brahman. And what is this knowledge of Brahman? Yena, by which Aksharam Purusham Veda Satyam, by which the Purusha, who is Purusha? You, you as Bhagavan, that Purusha, that infinite Bhagavan as myself, that cause of the universe as myself, through which it is known. And that is called Brahma Vidya, the oneness between Jiva, the jaded, faded, hapless, hopeless, helpless Jiva, and the glorious Ishvara. That's what it is. The cause of this universe, the one who is in charge of all the laws, the one that is there, that is nothing but this consciousness alone. That consciousness, which I call myself, is nothing but Ishvara. Ishvara is also consciousness equipped with the ability to make all these laws and create, etc. But that creation is what comes and goes. So that infinity plus one, creation is just, let's say, one. Infinity plus one does not make any mark on that infinity. Infinity minus one, still infinity. So, not distracted by the world and all that it has to offer, I am able to focus on that which is truly beyond this world, literally and figuratively. And so we'll stop here. More we'll see when. Let us see. Next week we will meet for Bodhasara. This one we can see on the 26th. End of the month, last Sunday in February. Okay? Yeah. All the best. So, Meenal, if you are here, please update the website if it's not done so already. Please add that date. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.